If you are planning to visit England, you have to watch this video to learn about 10 mind-blowing facts you need to know before even considering visiting this amazing European country. I mean, we all know England is known for its charming accents, its love of a good cuppa, and of course the Queen. But are you ready for some real mind-blowing stuff? Everybody knows that in England they drive on the wrong side of the road, and when I say wrong I mean the left side. It's bonkers. It's like looking in a mirror but with more roundabouts. And speaking of bonkers, have you heard about the weather? Oh, you thought you knew rain? Darling, in England, the weather changes faster than a chameleon in a disco. One minute it's sunny, the next you've got hail the size of crumpets falling from the sky. But you know what's even more surprising? England has more castles than Starbucks. Okay, maybe not that many, but you get the picture. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive into 10 mind-blowing facts about England that'll have you saying, cheerio, I did not know that. Alright mates, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the car on the wrong side of the road. Yes, in England they drive on the left-hand side. I know it sounds absolutely mental. It's like they looked at the rest of the world and said, you know what? We're going to do our own thing. We're going rogue. And listen, I've driven in England and let me tell you, it's a real trip. Literally. You're constantly checking the wrong side of the car for oncoming traffic and roundabouts. Forget about it, it's like a game of human Frogger. But, hey, you know what they say, when in Rome, or should I say, when in England, drive on the left, or you'll end up in a right mess. But here's the thing, once you get used to it, it's actually quite fun. It's like being in a secret society, a club for people who like to live life on the edge of the road, that is. And hey, at least you won't have to worry about accidentally driving into a ditch on the right side of the road, because you know, there won't be one. So, if you're planning on driving in England, just remember, stay calm, stay alert, and for goodness sake, look right before you turn left. And if all else fails, just hail a black cab. Those drivers are practically superhuman, they can navigate anything. Okay folks, let's talk about the weather in England, shall we? Now, you might think you know rain, you've experienced a drizzle, maybe even a downpour. But let me tell you, you haven't truly lived until you've experienced English rain. It's in a league of its own. Picture this. You wake up, the sun is shining, birds are singing, you think to yourself, what a glorious day for a stroll in the park. And then, bam! Out of nowhere, the heavens open up and unleash a torrential downpour that would make Noah himself reach for his ark. And the worst part is, it can change in an instant. One minute you're basking in the sunshine, the next you're running for cover under a tiny umbrella that's about as effective as a chocolate teapot. But here's the kicker, the English are used to it. They've embraced the chaos. They carry on with their day, unfazed by the meteorological mayhem swirling around them. So, what's the lesson here? When visiting England, pack for all 4 seasons. And a swimsuit. And a snowsuit. And maybe a life vest, just in case. And don't even think about leaving home without an umbrella. Trust me on this one. Alright my friends, let's talk about a truly baffling, yet strangely endearing English quirk queuing. That's right, queuing, or as you might call it, standing in line. It's practically a national sport over there. Seriously, the English could queue for anything. A cup of tea, a bus, a glimpse of the Queen walking her corgis. You name it, they'll queue for it. And the best part? They do it with such impeccable manners. No pushing, no shoving, no cutting in line. It's a thing of beauty, really. I remember the first time I experienced a proper English queue. I was at Wimbledon, waiting for a bowl of strawberries and cream, another essential English experience by the way, and the line stretched on for what felt like miles. But you know what? No one complained. Everyone just patiently waited their turn, chatting amongst themselves, soaking up the atmosphere. It was then that I realized, queuing isn't just about waiting your turn. It's about embracing the social contract, about showing a bit of respect for your fellow human beings. So, when you're in England, and you see a queue, don't be afraid to join in. Embrace the experience. Chat with your neighbor, enjoy the anticipation, and remember, good things come to those who queue. Okay, let's talk about everyone's favorite meal of the day. Breakfast. And in England, breakfast is no laughing matter. In fact, It's practically an institution. Forget your cereal and milk, my friends. We're talking about the full English breakfast. Now, I'm not talking about a couple of rashers of bacon and a fried egg here. Oh no, the full English is not for the faint of heart. We're talking sausages, bacon, eggs, fried, scrambled, or poached. Your choice. Black pudding. Don't ask, just try it. Baked beans, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, fried bread. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's like a Thanksgiving feast on a plate. And you know what the best part is? You eat it all with a cup of tea, of course. Because nothing says good morning like a heart-stopping plate of food and a steaming hot cuppa. Now I know what you're thinking, Mark. That sounds like a lot of food. And you'd be right, it is. But trust me, when you're in England, you need that kind of fuel to power through a day of sightseeing, queuing, and battling unpredictable weather. So, loosen your belt, grab your knife and fork, and get ready to experience the culinary masterpiece that is the full English breakfast. Alright, history buffs, this one's for you. Did you know that England is absolutely jam-packed with castles? Seriously, they're everywhere. From grand, imposing fortresses perched atop hills, to charming, romantic ruins tucked away in the countryside, England has a castle for every taste. Now, I'm not talking about those bouncy castles you find at children's parties. No, these are the real deal. Stone walls, towering turrets, moats, drawbridges, the whole shebang. It's like stepping back in time to a world of knights, kings, and epic battles. And the best part is, each castle has its own unique story to tell. Take Warwick Castle, for example. It's over 1,000 years old and has seen more drama than an episode of The Crown. Kings have been crowned there, battles have been fought there, and it's even said to be haunted. Or how about Windsor Castle? It's the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world, and it's still home to the king. Imagine having a cuppa with His Majesty, in a place that's older than America. Now that's what I call a royal invitation. So, if you're planning a trip to England, do yourself a favor and add a few castles to your itinerary. You won't be disappointed. Okay folks, let's talk about transportation. And no, I'm not talking about those fancy double-decker buses, although those are pretty cool too. I'm talking about the London Underground, affectionately known as the Tube. Now the Tube is more than just a subway system, it's an experience. It's a labyrinth of tunnels and stations that crisscross beneath the bustling streets of London, whisking millions of passengers to their destinations every day. And let me tell you, it's an adventure. From navigating the crowded platforms during rush hour to deciphering the seemingly indecipherable map, riding the Tube is not for the faint of heart. But there's a certain charm to it all. The iconic roundel signs, the echoing announcements, the occasional busker serenading you with a song, it's all part of the experience. And hey, if you're lucky, you might even spot a celebrity or two down there. After all, even royalty has to use public transportation sometimes. So next time you're in London, ditch the taxi and hop on the Tube. Just remember to mind the gap between the train and the platform. And maybe pack a snack, just in case you get stuck on the Piccadilly line for a while. It happens to the best of us. Alright, let's talk about something near and dear to every English person's heart. Tea. Now I know what you're thinking. Mark, it's just tea, what's the big deal? But let me tell you, tea in England is not just a drink, it's a way of life. It's the first thing you have in the morning, the last thing you have before bed, and honestly everything in between. It's the solution to every problem, from a broken heart to a bad case of the Mondays. And don't even get me started on the ritual of making a proper cuppa. The boiling water, the warming of the teapot, the careful measuring of the tea leaves. It's an art form, really. And then there's the whole milk first or water first debate. Oh, don't even get me started on that one. It's enough to start a civil war. But you know what? No matter how you take your tea, one thing's for sure, it's always better with a biscuit. Or two, if you're feeling cheeky. And when I say biscuit, I don't mean those fluffy things you get in a can. I'm talking about proper English biscuits, digestives, hobnobs, custard creams. Oh, the choices are endless. So, when you're in England, put on your best frock, find yourself a cozy tea room, and embrace the national beverage. Trust me, it'll be the most civilized cuppa you'll ever have. Alright folks, get ready for a bit of a history lesson. Because today, we're talking about one of London's most iconic landmarks, Big Ben. Now I know what you're thinking, Mark. Everyone knows Big Ben is that big clock tower. And that's where you'd be wrong, my friend. Because Big Ben isn't actually the clock tower at all. It's the bell inside the tower. I know, mind blown, right? The tower itself is actually called Elizabeth Tower, named after Queen Elizabeth II. But for some reason the nickname Big Ben stuck, and now everyone just calls it that. So what's the story behind the name Big Ben? Well, no one knows for sure. Some say it was named after Sir Benjamin Hall, who was the Commissioner of Works when the bell was installed. Others say it was named after a famous heavyweight boxer at the time, Benjamin Comte. Whatever the reason, the name stuck. And now Big Ben is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world, even if no one really knows what it's actually called. Alright, animal lovers, this one's for you. Did you know that London is home to the world's oldest scientific zoo? That's right, London Zoo, located in the heart of Regent's Park, opened its doors way back in 1828. That means it's older than sliced bread, the telephone, and even the United States of America. Now I know what you're thinking. Mark, zoos are so last century. But let me tell you, London Zoo is no ordinary zoo. It's home to over 750 species of animals, from majestic lions and tigers to playful penguins and mischievous monkeys. And the best part is, London Zoo is all about conservation. They're working hard to protect endangered species and educate the public about the importance of animal welfare. So, if you're looking for a fun and educational day out in London, be sure to add London Zoo to your itinerary. Just be sure to watch out for the monkeys. They're notorious for pinching snacks. Alright folks, buckle up for this one because it's a real humdinger. Did you know that the king technically owns all the swans in England? That's right, you heard me correctly. If you see a swan gracefully gliding down the Thames, you're basically looking at royalty. Now before you go planning a swan heist, let me clarify. The king doesn't actually own every single swan in the country. He only owns the unmarked mute swans on certain stretches of the River Thames and its surrounding tributaries, but still it's a pretty cool and slightly bizarre fact, right? And apparently there's a whole ceremony dedicated to counting the king's swans. It's called swan-upping, and it involves a bunch of people in traditional boats rowing up the Thames, rounding up the swans, and giving them a little health check. So, next time you're in England, be sure to keep an eye out for those majestic swans, and if you see one, give it a respectful nod. After all, you're in the presence of royalty, or at least a bird that's owned by royalty. Well folks, there you have it. 10 mind-blowing facts about England that you probably didn't know. I hope you found this whirlwind tour of English quirks and oddities both entertaining and informative. Remember, when visiting this wonderful land of tea, castles, and questionable weather, always pack an umbrella, brush up on your queuing etiquette, and watch out for those royal swans. And if you're ever feeling brave, try driving on the left side of the road. Just kidding, maybe leave that one to the professionals.